be talking about the Child Protection Case Management Supervision and Coaching Training Package. My name is Jennifer Lee, and I'm with the International Rescue Committee based in New York. I'm the Child Protection Gender-Based Violence Child Survivor Specialist, and I'm joined with my colleague Colleen Fitzgerald.
My name is Colleen Fitzgerald, and I'm a Case Management Specialist with IRC. I'm also the chair of the Case Management Task Force, which is a collection of international organizations who are coming together to create guidance, materials, and support on case management and humanitarian action globally. And we fall under the Alliance for Child Protection and Humanitarian Action.
Oh, just for everyone out there, could you just give us a brief sort of intro as to what is this package and where did the idea come from?
We had developed the case management training package in 2014, and it touched on this idea of supervision. But what we've really heard from our field colleagues is that more is needed. And really the experience of caseworkers who are doing child protection case management often is that they only receive a limited number of days of training, and then they're out working with very vulnerable children in really complicated humanitarian emergencies, and they need more support, and they need coaching and a place to really reflect and understand how to better act with different cases. Really, the function that can help support this gap is the role of a supervisor.
For those out there who aren't really familiar with case management or supervision, could you describe what both are?
So children who've experienced abuse, neglect, and exploitation. We often have cases of children who've been associated with armed forces, or children who are engaged in child labor, children who are on the streets, children who've been separated from their families and are very vulnerable to potential abuse and neglect and exploitation. We have caseworkers all over the world in humanitarian settings doing this very difficult, complicated work to work with these individual children and their families and communities to really put together a comprehensive assessment and understanding of what's happening for that individual child, and how can we build on the resources and the strengths that that child and family have in order to help address those significant needs and protection concerns. And that's the work of case management. As I mentioned, it is a very challenging job, and some of the most complex cases that you'll see in the world. The role of a supervisor within case management is to really be that person to coach them, the person to accompany them in their work of case management, to reflect, this is what happened, and how can I really address, according to all these different things that are happening for this child, how can I really come up with a plan in order to respond to those needs, to help guide and mentor them, and to also ensure that there isn't harm done. There's a lot of risk when we're working with individual children, so it is another way of ethical practice. So a supervisor is to help in the case management process, help a caseworker move through the case management steps, to help them reflect and develop, because there's such an assortment of skills that a caseworker requires. And then finally, to provide where they can be supported emotionally because the work is so stressful. Those are the real key functions of supervision. Unfortunately, what we've seen is that very often supervisors are limiting their role to the administrative function, checking case file, making sure that people are going out to the field according to the schedule. And what we really want to promote is this shift. That, of course, some of those components are important to monitor the casework, but also this development and supportive function are really essential. And if you don't have those other functions within supervision, there's really a cost to the case management work overall, and ultimately to children. So that's why we really want to stress the importance of this work.
What exactly is the purpose, the goals, objectives of this particular training package?
Yeah. So this particular training package is really to help supervisors increase their confidence and to really clearly define what is supervision. And so to provide for our colleagues who are implementing case management guidance on what supervision is, the skills that are required, and to help make that very practical for caseworkers or case management teams.
Can you talk a little bit about the development of this training package?
We decided that we really wanted to first listen to our colleagues who are doing case management work in some really complicated places. I first started with our colleagues who are working in northern Syria. I was in Turkey, in our southern Turkey office, and was engaging regularly with our colleagues who are in Syria. And I spent a lot of time with them listening about what is supervision? And we did a training workshop after the experience for the Northern Syria team. Then I went to Nigeria. And once again, I spent a lot of time with our colleagues talking about supervision within case management. I accompanied them to the field and looked at how caseworkers were implementing their work and how supervisors were supporting them, some of the challenges that they were having in that context, and some of the things that they were doing well. So once again, we looked at those tools and using a lot of the same training materials, but adapting them for that context and making them more appropriate there and building upon what we had initially started. The final context we had our piloting experience in was in Myanmar. I spent time with our colleagues mostly in Sittwe to really look at how they were implementing case management in a very different context as well. So a lot of the same practices of, accompanying colleagues to the field, asking a lot of questions, learning from their experiences, and also doing another workshop with an interagency gathering of organizations from both humanitarian and development. From those three experiences, we've gathered a lot of information and a lot of learning, and the package itself really evolved. So then after that, we had a global gathering in Greece, and we brought together colleagues from many different organizations, but really child protection case management specialists. This was just an amazing opportunity to bring these experts together for a week to discuss the package with them, to talk about our terminology and to talk about what are we really trying to achieve here and how are we going to roll it out together. And we just really dove into the package itself. What I love about our development process is that it was really field informed, but it was also informed by global expertise. We also relied significantly on evidence and on resources that already exist from a lot of different places and a lot of different contexts as well. Supervision derives significantly from social work practice. And so we looked a lot at training manuals and guidance documents from many different countries on the role of supervision in social work. That really informed this package as well, and is a significant portion is really from these practices that have evolved.